Tracy. I've never. That was a check. No. Seventeen properties. I don't think you have been. You know, like this, running meetings, so you see it for who they, when the location around. Right.
Yeah, she's
Being in the first one. You know what, nobody else, we're good at that. It's about. Variances and stuff.
right.
Okay. Go ahead and call this meeting to order at 6:33 p.m. Would please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Ben Stokes present.
Carolyn present.
Shane Childers present.
Marie Easter present.
And approved meeting minutes, 11/4/2025 regular meeting minutes.
I move we approve regular meeting minutes of 11/2025.
I second. All in favor? Aye. Need to approve claims, the December 2025. Approve claims of December 2025.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. And we need to approve the November 2025 bank reconciliation as presented.
I move we approve the November 2025 bank reconciliation as presented.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public request to speak, not related to an agenda item. We'll move on to unfinished business. HWC update on the sewer plant expansion and the update on the 75 utility relocation and the utility relocation project pay request.
Good evening, John Query with HWC Engineering for the record. On the wastewater plant expansion, a little bit of a slow month for the last update was November 5th, the council meeting. We had a Thanksgiving holiday last week and some weather this week, but the contractor did get the SBR tank walls finished. They completed some partial backfill in the SBR tank and they completed the leak test, SBR tank, this past month. They're gearing up for some of the underground site piping this month. And then from there, they'll move to the existing bulk aeration tank that's being converted to a digester and they started working. That's how they're progressing now. The major equipment is still planned for middle of January arrival, the SBR. The contractors indicate that still wants to get it. It's really about all I have on sewer plant expansion. Any questions on that? Okay. State Road 75 and Lowry Street utility relocation. I think you all are aware of what happened there last week on Friday. I think Josh has kept you up to date, but the contractor PAF on Friday, they did hit an 8-inch gas main. They're jacking bore casing pipe. That required the road to be shut down. Center Point came out, make the gas main repair through the night Friday and into Saturday morning to complete that repair. And then after that was done, Monday, we had a meeting on site, NDOT, Josh, myself, contractor, to get a plan to move forward to get that work completed. So they're gonna have to now open cut a portion of State Road 75, basically to the location where that casing pipe dropped in elevation, and open cut the remaining section of that to get that gravity sanitary sewer installed. They will put a casing in, just like if the Jack and Bull was planned, so there will be a casing there. Carrier pipe for 75. So the road will be closed. Thinking tomorrow, Josh.
That's what I'm kind of getting from everybody, that most likely it'll be sometime tonight, overnight. So that way in the morning it will be closed.
They're saying 3 or 4 days to do that open cut with the weather and everything. I don't know. That's what they're planning, so I imagine most of that will happen end of this week and next week.
They're trying to get this done, so the paving plants are saying December 19th for shutdown. So they're trying to get everything done so that Calumet can still get it paved and done before the plant shut down.
Now, John, that has no repercussion or effect to the town, correct? As far as cost,
The contract is with the town, the contract, PAS contract is with the town of Jamestown. But then the town gets reimbursed by NDOT.
Okay.
I'm talking about the open ditch, all that. With them hitting the gas main,
Right. Yeah, no, I mean,
it's not costing the town anything.
that's all gonna be up to NDOT. I mean, it's the geotech report in that area, the soils was provided by NDOT, their geotech consultant. So, yeah, it's all routed through NDOT for reimbursement as part of the full replacement project.
How is that responsible to the town? We had a contract for a certain way. They hit the gas main, now they're gonna come back and fix it. So it should not be PAF charging us anything extra.
Right. No,
That's what he's getting.
that's what he's asking. Yeah, I'm saying, no, I mean, it's, again, I was just saying the contract is with the town, but it's a reimbursement.
Right.
NDOT to.
Nobody cares about that part. They want to make sure we're not going to get a bill, PAF, for anything extra because they hit the gas tank.
Yeah, I mean, PAF they may try to have a change order or something. I mean, in their opinion, this is contractor's opinion, is that the soils were unstable, unsuitable soils. So if they go that route, then that would go to NDOT for them to plead their case to NDOT on that for payment. So with that, we got a pay request on that project from the contractor. The first one was basically for mobilization and some of the water main work that they did complete. So we're recommending full payment of that one. That's for the $42,513.83. And then pay application number 2. What they submitted for pay app number 2 was $180,867.75. But we did not agree with that. Their submittal on that because of the issue with the sewer jack and bore, the sewer installation. We're recommending partial approval only of that pay app and not paying any of the sanitary sewer items that they had in the pay app.
So am I correct in here? Pay application number 2, 80,000, is that what you were saying to go ahead and release to them, or is that
Yes, that's what we're saying, because that component of the pay app is for the water main work that they did complete. Some of the other tree removal and some of those items. But we're not At this time, recommending any of the sanitary sewer items.
You have to, excuse, well, application of payment number 2. What you have Xed out is what you're, wanting to withhold then? Basically, it's about, well, I guess it's down there at the bottom, 6,500, 6,452.
Well, that's the retaining. So we're recommending 80. Of the 180,867.75 that they were requesting, we're recommending 80,080.25. So about 100,000 less than what they were. Those first 4 line items, Shane, that are marked out.
Right.
Where it says, column E, where it says this period, work completed this period.
Yep.
So that the 18,000, for line item 1, the 67,518 for line item 2 for the Jack and Award, 10,000 for line item 3, and 25,000 for line item 4.
Okay.
We were marking all those out because the work's not been done except due to the issues that they've encountered.
Okay.
So you said that you think that the soil was bad, so there's more got offline, is that what they're gonna say?
That's what their opinion.
And I have to admit, when they pulled the case, when they poured the augers out, that last 10 feet was nothing but just gunk, liquid gunk. There was, when they started digging their port pit, there were signs of railroad ties in the ground about 5 feet deep. And Calumet ran into the same thing, so it looks like maybe they, at one point, used railroad ties in there to stabilize the ground.
They did.
Yes. So it is a possibility that that is the issue.
The gas main was marked potholed for depth. You know, they knew where it was and everything. Just 18 inches of clearance planned over the top of that gas main sewer. So somehow that casing got out of the line and shifted down.
Any questions for John?
I'd like to say thank you though to Josh and to the firemen and Joe for all the time they spent down there at that gas thing. Josh, what was yours, 21 hours? You were down there. His wife had to bring him food.
Jesus.
I was the last man to leave. I opened the road back up at 11:11.
But we really appreciate that. Just tell the guys with mom.
And L'Oreal will get you information on where to send those pay apps to NDOT. And if there's any paperwork required, we reached out to them.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
All right, thank you.
Business resolution 2025-21, approving amendments to the economic development area.
I don't think it's to do a motion if you're gonna. If that's what's being requested, I think they authorize the payments and
Yeah, so I would ask for, or I guess the request on the pay app is for pay app one in the amount of $43,513.83. And pay app two, a partial payment of $80,080.25.
Will be made to PAF construction.
Yes.
For a total of 122,594.08.
Yes.
Do you want to get or group together or separate?
I'll just make a separate motion.
For each one?
Yeah, for each one, motion to approve the application of one in the amount of $2,513.83 and vote on that. Motion to approve the application of the $80,080. You're so inclined.
I move to approve a pay application for number one of $42,513.83. GPAF construction.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
I
Aye.
move to pay application number two for the amount of $80,080.25 to PAF construction.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Aye.
I,
Got what you need now, Don?
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll move on to new business, resolution 2025-21, approving amendments to the economic development area and plan. A resolution of the town council of the town of Jamestown, Indiana, as approving amendments to the declaratory resolution and economic development plan for the 2021 Jamestown Business District Economic Development Area. Wow. So this was started by the redevelopment commission. It has went before plan commission. The plan commission passed it. Now it will be before the council, and then it will be returned back to the redevelopment commission on, I think, the 18th. Does anyone have any questions concerning this?
Basically, I think we're just extending the area to the Darlington Village.
To include
Of a
Darlington
TIF that's
Village.
already in place.
Right.
sorry, I couldn't hear that. What was that?
They're extending the area of that particular TIF to include the
Oh,
Darlington Village. So you're not extending it, just extending that
Yeah.
area, or graphic of it.
You're creating an area.
Area.
I just couldn't hear what, he said.
If there is nothing further,
I move to approve resolution 2025-21. It's approving the amendments to the economic development area and plan.
I said,
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'm sorry that Mr. Leibowitz is ill this evening. I know that the JCP and the park board have been patiently awaiting this. It's not completely done, but it's going to be a good start. We're going to discuss ordinance 2025-15, preventing the sale of alcohol for a town function by a vendor, not the town. An ordinance permitting the sale of alcohol in the parks and on the property of the town of Jamestown, Indiana, during certain specified events. I am a horrible reader, so I'm gonna let Patrick do this.
Yeah, no, I can speak to it generally. It's really on here, I think, for discussion purposes. And I know that there were some folks at JPC and at the Parks Department who were interested, so they would maybe weigh in and see it. So been working on this and the discussions on the best way to approach this for a little bit. I've looked at some other towns and kind of how they have dealt with this same sort of situation. And from what I can tell, there are kind of two options. Option number one is to set up a DORA. I don't think that is based on how the law regarding DORAs is written is particularly applicable here. Generally speaking, with a DORA, you're looking at a downtown area where there's one or more bars that people are kind of walking to and from and, doing that sort of stuff. This is a little bit different situation because you're talking about really two specific events that happen annually, typically at, I think, the firehouse or one of the town parks. So you don't have a brick and mortar alcohol serving vendor that's there year round that you would designate under the DORA statute. So what I've seen typically is basically other local units, other towns have adopted ordinances that effectively create a permit process where number one, let's say we want to host the fish fry at the nature center or at the nature park, or we want to host the cider festival. I think that was it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fish fry is at
The
the
fish fries.
park in town
Yeah. So
or the fire station.
yeah, so whoever wants to host that historically has come to the council, and whether it's JCP or the Parks Department and said, "Hey, we're going to host the fish fry. Here's the date. Give us your permission to do." Council says yes, and that's typically where it's ended. With this, it also allows the possibility for vendors, so somebody who either has acquired or already possesses the proper license from the state, to go and say, hey, we want to serve beer, we want to serve wine, we want to serve spirits, whatever our license or the license that we've acquired allows us to serve at an event like this. Now the town, then they come in front of the town council and say, hey, we want you to issue a permit to us that permits us to sell beer or wine at this event. Of course, they're going to be required to obtain and acquire the proper permit. Usually that's, I think it's a temporary beer and wine permit is what you see most frequently in these sorts of circumstances. But I think there are other vendors that are regulated by the alcohol and tobacco state agency that are permitted generally to do this based on the kind of license they have. I haven't reviewed all the different licenses because I don't think it's germane to this necessarily from the town's perspective. But the key is they need to make sure they have the proper permit to serve at the event. They need to then come to the town and get the town's blessing and permission to do it and establish that they have the proper permit. I do think going this route is probably going to impose at least a little bit on the JCP and on the parks to go out and say, hey, you're allowed to serve alcohol at this, but here are some of the steps that you need to do in effect to recruit these sorts of vendors to come to an event like this. But I think you're going to generally have to do that anyways when there are brick and mortar sort of, and there are caterers and caterers licenses and things like that are permitted to do it regardless. So the only other thing that I think I would note is with any of these, you're going to want to, and with anything, you're going to want to confer with the town's liability carrier and make sure you're covered and the insurance is all sort of paid in the event that something did happen. But this is what generally speaking, what I have seen doing online research is either a permit process through the town where they're also having to obtain the proper license from the state agency or Adora. And, since these are not walking from bar to bar, restaurant to restaurant downtown, they're taking place at the nature park where there are already bars and restaurants. It didn't seem like Adora was the most appropriate mechanism for accomplishing, I think. So,
Is there a specific area that we're supposed to say they have to stay in, like town park? I mean, is that something that's necessary?
that can certainly be added to this, where they need to fence off. I mean, I think the town, generally speaking, gets to regulate its own property. Now there are rules for serving alcohol and things that the state imposes, but I've seen ordinances like this where they need to set up a tent and a fence, and you can't take the alcohol outside of that fenced-in area. So there's a lot of things you could do, I think, theory.
But if you did, and we can discuss this, if you do the fence beer garden type thing, then that is going to prevent Ryan, picking on Ryan, it's going to prevent Ryan from going to the fish fry and having a beer or whatever
with his kids there with him because they won't be allowed in
and
that
watch
area.
the band.
Right.
He can't sit in his lawn chair, drink his beer, and watch the band. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that was our entire goal, was to try to get people to enjoy, entice to where that they would want to stay.
I think it's really just, we just have to, like we said, just the described area where they can only,
Like the park boundaries, you can't just.
yeah, you just have a, per se, described area.
Well, that's why I wanted to know was if it was necessary to do that. That was part of it.
No, I mean, I think right now, as it's described, I think it's pretty much anywhere in the park as long as the town allows it. Now, there are two layers of bureaucracy here, right? For these folks that are vendors. They have to comply with whatever the town's ordinance says they have to do, but they also have to comply with the state and what obligations the state imposes upon them, with regard to whatever permit they have. So, if their permit says you can serve alcohol at an event like this, and I'm just making this up, frankly, but nobody can carry it more than 15 feet away from where it's served, then they're gonna have to follow whatever. I don't know that that's in there or there's anything similar to that in there. But if it said that, they'd have to comply with that in order to not lose their permit. So,
So it's a funny situation, kind of.
yeah, because I mean, the state has, at least in terms of permitting people to serve alcohol, has stepped in and imposed their own regulations. So, anybody who wants to sell, the town can say, yeah, you can sell alcohol at our these specific town events that are held on town property. They've also got to comply with what the state says they must. And really, the onus, as it should be, is on the vendor to go out and theoretically, they think that if they think they can make some money at an event like this, the onus is on them to go out and get what they need from the state town.
I know that Jason had spoken with, you guys are gonna have to help me out with
Clues was one.
Clues Brew,
There was
right?
I think there was only two vendors that had really any interest
Well, I know that
in these events.
Jonathan does. And I knew that Clues Brews was interested. And
Yeah,
I thought he said one more, but I'm not sure of the
I
other
can't
one.
remember.
But Jonathan has assured us that he has gotten his stuff in line. What it is, I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to look for. But
Do we have, is there, that's one thing I haven't checked with Jason. Is there any other towns around here doing something similar? Or is everybody else doing, per se, the Dora?
Advance had beer at their thing this summer. You guys would have to help me out on what function it was.
Say, what does that mean?
And
the eclipse.
there you go.
Oh, okay.
Well, they had something this summer, right? That they had it too? Or was it just Eclipse?
I don't know if they did it.
I think Jawbone was putting something on, so it may have been,
They may have a catering
but,
license.
yeah.
It Jawbone doesn't have a liquor license at all.
The purpose of this isn't to offer the opportunity for people to get plowed. It's just to offer the opportunity for someone to sit there and have a
And I
beer
don't want to be there.
and enjoy.
Oh.
Yeah, and other local units of government, I mean, could be permitting this kind of stuff, and not have an ordinance in place too.
How does Thorntown do it?
Festival.
I guess he's not paying attention, so.
I don't know that they run that through the town as opposed to running it through the, they have a visitors bureau, is it a standalone organization? I don't know. And they've done it for a while,
At the festival,
yeah. But I know like the KOP at one point was involved in it.
That's more Salem.
I thought North Salem.
But I believe it was a Red Dog at the time, or whatever the bar was there, that they had different, so probably.
No. Last year.
It's on private property, Monday.
Oh, well, maybe.
There's,
I think right next to the post office. That's not private property, is it?
Hey,
It may have been on a lot that was private property. Because there was something mentioned about that.
And that's no different, I know, even if you're having an event like this on private property, you still have to comply with getting whatever state permit you need to serve alcohol. The only difference here and why the town's involved is because these events are happening on town. In town parks. And currently, the town's ordinance, at least as it relates to the nature park, says thou shalt not have alcohol in the nature park. So that's gonna have to be changed if this is something that council wants. Which we've got an amendment to that drafted as well.
chew on this, look it over and see if it's something you're interested in, maybe next month.
I think as far as the insurance goes, from my limited experience, just because you are legal to sell it, doesn't necessarily mean you carry your insurance. So would our insurance say, yes, they need to have their own separate? Sometimes when you cater, or when you get into catering, you can use it, the facility's insurance, as long as you're a licensed server, but I guess that's when we talk.
We'll just have to ask Doug and see what he says.
Some of them carry it and some of them don't.
I can tell you if I was involved in an incident where I was injured from alcohol, I would sue whoever the vendor was, and I'd also sue the town if it was on town property or town.
You're gonna get it one or the other.
Yeah. You can require, and your insurance carrier will probably indicate that you ought to, for any vendor that's serving alcohol on town property, you have an agreement with them,
I
with
think that's what
indemnification language and things like that. Which, isn't a bad idea. But at the end of the day, you still want to sue.
That's what I'm thinking. That's to say, yeah, I mean, they need to be insured as well, or it's not an option.
I would do a motion. Second.
I make a motion to, I make a motion to table, the discussion of ordinance 2025-15, the permitting of sale of alcohol.
I will second.
All in favor? Aye. Set year-end meeting dates. Yeehaw. Already here.
Well, what to do on this Monday night?
The original year calendar was 26, and I'm good for whatever.
Thursday, 26th.
I think so. 26 or 29 makes no difference to me.
26th is the day after Christmas. It's
Mhm.
Friday. Says, what do you want?
That's when I saw the bid on it. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I'm up to whatever.
Is the 29th okay with you?
With me.
Cookie?
29 is much better, yeah. At 6 o'clock,
Okay. Okay,
that's.
December 29th at 6 o'clock. Year-end meeting. Clerk treasurer? Patrick?
I don't have anything other than if you need it. On my calendar, but if you don't, I can be available by phone.
Josh?
I'll give you an update on all the other projects. Merit has started their off-site utilities, as far as the sewer, subdivision out there, and some of the water. So they're moving forward. They were hoping to have, they've got the stone in the streets that all passed proof roll out there. They're hoping to have curbs done tomorrow, Friday, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. So if they can still try to get paid and get it for the 19th. Okay, other than that, there was only one complaint, and Meredith's taking care, or two complaints actually. Meredith's taking care of it. One is their tracker operator ran over Brooke.
Jimmy?
Yes. Ran over the sandbox.
Oh.
They built it from before. But the other one was at the end of Columbia Street, someone at the end and one back. It's like 330 Columbia Street, 334. They some spoils rolled down into the fence and ended up collapsing a couple pieces of the fence that they were taking. So it's just where the sewer line is, it's just the way it was as far as the spoils running down. As they move forward, they're farther away from the fence on the sand or the storm system, so they won't have that issue again. Other than that, that's where everything's at. I mean, they get it paid. You're looking probably January-ish sometime. So I'm still waiting on. It was subcontractor coming in and starting the getting conduit in the ground for the electric system. But and that is where we're at on the International Drive. It is at the appraiser doing the appraisal. I do know that they contacted Purdy's on that part of it, so it is still moving forward. So hopefully we'll do something soon on it. All right. Any questions for me? Yeah.
Josh.
Well. Aaron?
Good evening. For November, the department had 26 traffic stops, 4 tickets issued, 18 warning. One vehicle was impounded. We had 2 crash reports to this other agency. 4 runs assisting fire EMS, 4 case reports. Of those, we have 1 for possession of the devil's lettuce, 1 for domestic battery, fine theft for, delinquency, neglect of a minor. There's one outright arrest. One domestic fight, 2 civil disturbances, 3 reports of suspicious activity, 4 welfare checks, 29 animal patrols, 1 female escort, 21 police services, 2 juvenile problems, 4 animal complaints, all involving the same animal, which was picked up finally. And we had 3 services, but very little action in that regard, just follow-up stuff. Total calls for the month, 105. We had a training night 2 weeks ago, involving Thorntown PD, Colfax PD. Christian Brown came over from Ladoga PD. He's been our taser instructor for a number of years, so did some taser certifications, EVOC certificate or EVOC and service training. We appreciate those guys coming down. It's the first time we've done that, so I've offered before, but it's the first time they've taken, so it's kind of cool. We've got, every year we've got people running the race to the very end to get their hours in, but I think we'll be okay. We've had multiple qualified applicants for the deputy position. And when I say qualified, they're qualified on paper. They hold certifications that are soon to be valid. And they have some experience. Everybody's got a story. So Chris is assisting me. We're gonna kind of go through these, personal amount, see what we have. And then I may, will reach out to the council president to kind of come up with a plan going forward, maybe conduct some interviews and get a feel for some of these guys. See what we have to work with. I'm optimistic about it, so hopefully not too long after the first year we'll have somebody in a part-time deputy spot. Thank you, Patrick. You got me a waiver form for release information for background checks. I feel like that's something that would be worth us waiting for. So, I got anything for me? I did get something from INDOT or Dispatch this afternoon that said, "Hey, we're closing. Didn't know we're closed. There was 75 and 2136 and 234 until after the beginning of January."
Yeah, that was a notification I got.
Which is not 2 to 3 days. I know we're going by government math, but I'm concerned. I'm going to send an email and be like, what is it? So. Body armor. He did get a grant back in the spring for some body armor. I was up for a vest. A couple of reserves are up for vests. We've got 2 of those ordered. And we're gonna pay for that with the donated funds as well as what we have left off the general fund for the year. And then after the first year, we'll order the remaining needed vests out of the budget. So, thanks.
Thank you. Joe?
Well, our firefighters have been quite busy this month. Between all the events and everything, we had on top of that, we had 27 total runs. We had 12 medical, 9 fires, 5 motor vehicle crashes, and one call for other call. The accident we had the other night, which was responding, they stayed out there on 13 hours. I have to actually look at it with Zach, Fred, McNeil, and Nate Davis. We're down there and just fixing shifts back and forth, and it's basically made a truck in case there was some type of danger and stuff like that. So they were down there for a long time. But we'll get into that and probably getting a bill off of them for the long hours of service for ambulance response. Along with that, we've had a couple good house fires in our area. Fortunately, the first one we were on, we only had 9 guys show up. The second one we had over here, just north of town, we had almost 7 guys on the scene. So for the month, as ISO is concerned, our average responders per fire were 5.5. That's well above the number of 4 that they are asking us to do. So we made a big improvement over the last 4 or 5 months. The biggest improvement I think too is we're starting to have more guys show up and go on different things. Out of those 27 runs, we only missed 3 of those this month. I think last month we only missed 3 and we only did like 16 runs. So that was 10 more. You guys are starting to respond. These guys are really working hard. They're doing their trainings, along with that. And so we're still meeting the minimums. There's not really much new to report on the ISO stuff. That's it here in my report. I do want to say, with this two changes and different things that the bylaws they changed. With line officers for the foreseeable future, right? So just to let you know that Zach Woodrum was doing ER and implemented to deputy chief administration. He's going to be the number 2 guy. So if you guys have any questions, you can direct them toward me or him. Along with that, I'm promoting also three new captains, which will be Sean Mitchell, Colton Cromwell, and Fred Long. Those are going to be, that's going to sum up to 5 people that will be the officers on the department that will kind of be a second line of work for me. I have the utmost confidence in all these individuals. I believe they have hold the qualification and the experience. So, along with that, along with all the other busyness, we had a touch truck event. Well, we tried to get out. Then we spent the next 5 or 6 hours fighting a house fire with multiple agencies around. I had Whitestown, London, Danville Fire, Livingston, Pittsburgh. We had a plethora of Center Township Fire Department and Boone County EMS on there. All them guys did a great job. It was a really tough fire to get out. We unfortunately it was a wind-driven fire, but we did eventually get it under control. Our second fire the other night was a quick attack, and they got it under control within minutes. And we actually saved the house. We had very little damage. We had some smoke damage in the house, but everything was out. And everybody on the fire department did a great job. We got some room for improvement. I think we've all kind of talked about it a little bit, but we'll keep doing a good job doing on that aspect of it. So, along with that, first due stuff, I've kind of turned that over to Zach over here. Zach is quite adept with the CAD integration and everything. He's informed me that we are probably about 3/4 of the way done with actually getting it set up to work and start using. We have another meeting here next Thursday on the 11th to start setting up some of the other programs, but we're probably about another week or so out. On hopefully a week or 2 out to get everything up and running, and so we can start utilizing that program. So, and he'll be, like I said, he's kind of taking the lead on that, and me and him will work together to get everything sorted out and get that up and running. The only other new thing that I had, a couple events, pursuing Super Santa coming up here on the 13th at the fire station with the JCP. We're excited to have them back in Santa Claus in town, so please come down. And then also I will be with the JCP Friday night cooking some chili for everybody from the lighting of the park. So please come up and do that. The last thing I have is just right now is just a first look at for you guys to look at basically a contract. It's a standard contract between the town and the volunteer fire department. It's not nothing we need to sort of figure out or sign tonight. You guys can look through it and make sure that it's got all the ring in. I try to keep it pretty simple, pretty basic. What we're going to provide and what you're going to provide is probably really similar to what we had before. I just think it has a little better written. And I will show this to the guys when we're meeting tomorrow, and we will kind of go through it if they want to change anything into it. If you have any questions about the contract, please reach out to me and kind of take a look over it. If there's something we need to change, we need to move around, or just kind of reword, let us know by all means. I think, I won't go into great detail over this, but the one thing I think that is in here, you'll see is that, that we'll be giving you some reports, more of like our financial reports. The report from the rest of our, so we, hopefully with this software upgrade, those are going to be some in there. The other big thing was is I put it as a 2-year contract because I don't think we need to be coming back in here every year and reintroducing a contract. I would also talk to the guys to see, I would entertain an even longer contract if you guys are interested, and that's up to you. So we don't have to do this every November. It's, I think that'd just be a little easier if we did a 2 or 3 or 4-year contract, whatever you guys decide. I think will be fair. That way we can get it done, signed, let it rest for a few years. And then if we want to come back, at any time, I think there is a clause in here that allows us to break the contract one way or another. So there's no long-term. Other than that, you guys have any questions for me?
You say you got some application.
There was a few applications we handed out during the Touch a Truck event. Fortunately, my wife and a few of the other ladies down there kind of helped out. It was great to have the police department down there. Josh was down there. Unfortunately, the helicopter service staff flight out front of St. Vincent's, the helicopter pilot come down with the flu. They didn't have a pilot for the helicopter that day.
You should have called me.
Well, next time I will call you, Shane, and you can put on your old Vietnam hat and we'll head down there.
He get annoyed by the big fan.
Because cancer is his favorite thing.
So, but it was a great event. We had over 500 food items to donate to them, and we have a little bit of cash too that was donated. The ladies in the food pantry were extremely excited to have a big stock of food right before Thanksgiving.
You might be.
We shared them on our Facebook page. I can send them to you. And then, we can definitely do that. I can do that. My wife's listening, so yes. Shoot.
Sarah.
Well, she's on the screen over there, probably writing notes down.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. Oh, Sarah's.
Anybody have anything for Joe? Joe, thank you. Dave planned on being here. He got tied up on the east side of Indy. He couldn't make it this evening. Looks like we have 3 permits issued. And street inspection done. The old grocery store at 33 Brush Street, the building has been secured. Yes or no?
boarded up the wrong door.
So that back door is still able to access?
Yeah.
Well, then I will,
I can follow up with him if you want.
okay.
I thought I was clear, but maybe boarded up the door, but it's actually not been working.
No. We,
Maybe they don't know there's 2 doors.
Their whole place is.
JCP?
So with the weather and everything, we did a change. Instead of having the lighting Saturday, we're having it this coming Friday, the same timeline, 5 till 8 o'clock. Let's see, we also,
Is Friday the 6th or Saturday the 6th? Friday.
Friday 5th, yeah. we also, did receive a check from the, Greater Jamestown Area Fund for the, all the new streetlights, for all the bracketry and everything for hanging flags and all that. So gave you guys a check, that check. Also, we did get, approved, the grant approved from the Solid Waste District of Boone County for new trash cans uptown. We're still working on that to pick which style, so that you'll be seeing those soon. And then we have obviously the Super Santa coming up, fire department, so
When is that?
that is,
The 13th. Joe just told you.
No.
13th, 4 to 8.
and we are looking for an auctioneer if somebody's interested. The one that Chancellor, he wasn't able to attend, so.
Do you know, Chuck Hunt?
Yeah.
Chuck found that guy.
Okay.
When I called Chuck, he has something going on. He referred that fellow.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, and to talk about the touch truck event. Yeah, we're firefighters. They got everything ready and then had to leave. But actually it was very successful. There was quite a few kids there, parents. It was neat. It was really cool. It's not very many opportunities kids can come all over to, vehicles, and we had some that were horn happy, of course, but we saw that problem pretty quick. I think that's something that could be an ongoing event, definitely, for sure. So, I believe that's all I have.
Brian?
Yes.
Are you guys also doing the cookie contest or just the cookie auction?
No, we are doing the contest, and there's going to be, I think there's 3 different prizes.
Okay.
If I remember, is that right?
3 different categories.
Yeah. So,
There's prize winners in each category and then the grant overall.
yep. So,
We've had that.
Yeah.
thankfully, I'm not.
I'm thinking about entering this year.
Well, thankfully, I'm not sampling that. I'm not a judge, so. But my daughter got voluntold, so. There's no more questions. I think that's all I have.
I'd like to say to whom everybody is involved, but I think the streetlights downtown are beautiful. And just the light up downtown, I didn't realize how dark it was. Like, my gosh, this is, it's just beautiful, and with the decorations and everything.
And
Thanks,
now when you
everybody.
get out of the downtown area, it's really dark, right?
No way. Really?
Yeah.
You be all over.
Probably.
Yeah.
I
good.
really don't have saying our resolution tonight. We have moved our regular RDC meeting from Thursday, the 11th to Thursday, the 18th, so that we can do the public hearing and pass the confirmatory resolution for the new economic development area. Other than that, we're pretty much, our projects have wrapped up for the year, and we're waiting to see what the housing addition does for us, so. Thank you.
Parks, Jason, good to be here this evening. They did not have a meeting in November. They did not have quorum. just has wheat wrangle news. On the November 14th, they had as many as 21 people. For most of the day, a few folks had afternoon obligations. He would like to publicly thank Tri-West FFA and Ag Science Groups for providing 15 of the 21. They cleared out a very large area from the planting in April. They need one or two more wrangles to get where they think they want to be. Communication was established with Western Boone, but there was a short time, and Mr. Miller did not have anybody that was available to help.
I think the FFA teacher has been out on maternity leave for quite a while. Maybe they get something going.
It's good that he has gotten in contact with Western Boone, and hopefully we can get those children involved in the park as well. The next meeting is the 30th, and he hopes to set the next two wheat wrangle dates and planting dates. And he would also like to tell everyone that they have one more seat available on the park board if anyone's interested. Oh, Joey? No, I can't. Thought you were holding up your hand.
So,
That was his report. Appointments, there still is a park board appointment. RDC meets December 18th at 6:30 p.m. No meeting for the park board, no meeting for the planning commission, nor the BZA. The next council meeting will be December 29th at 6 p.m. for year-end meeting. Is there anything further? Any questions or any comments not related to an agenda item?
I know that I'm not affected by it so much, and I know everybody has got to be frustrated with the 75 thing. But this was supposed to have been like a 30-day project. September 2nd, October 2nd. I know government math, I know everything always takes longer, but I just like. This has been 3 months now. Like I said, everybody's frustrated more than what I. That just, do we know what?
Well, you and Ben have a front row seat.
Do I?
You and Ben have a front row seat.
I know. I walk up there and look this.
I see you guys out there grilling hot dogs, walking by driving by.
I would say, it's closed right now, right, Lowry and.
Yeah, that's.
Well, when that's done, if this is going on, close. And I don't mean nothing comes through, and I'm not saying that because I don't want Cookie to come. You know, folks to not be able to get into town.
They won't be able to open it back up until after Calumet's done paving, because their paving actually goes past.
But they don't get paid before the.
Then it'll just be.
I was gonna say, I don't know where you're gonna find asphalt plant.
If it doesn't make it by the 19th, what's gonna have to happen is they'll leave it open the way it's been open.
Okay.
Well, that would be 34.
That'd be nice. Wow.
We've lost fiber lines already.
But
That'd be close.
yeah, no, they're opening up the way it is right now. They're moving that way until they can pave it in the spring, if it makes it that way.
Well, that's great news.
Yeah.
Anything further?
I move we adjourn this meeting.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned at 7:30.
Hour and 5 minutes.